And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The AJA Sports Show. Oh my god, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Psych! Sit through our intro. Ha 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 ha.
Coming with a double intro on a Monday, huh? Love it. Pre-kickoff Monday Night Football. Can't ask for much more, baby. Let's go!
It's what gets the people going.
You got me going. Welcome in, guys. It is the AJ Sports Show. I am Ace. Jay and Andrew are in here, but you know we are the sandwich. We got to put the juicy J in the middle here. I do have a shirt idea. It's called J and A's. It's because we are the J and A's, and it's gonna be a big bottle of mayonnaise on a shirt. With J and A's as the brand of the mayonnaise. If I have said mayonnaise more than you thought I ever would say mayonnaise on this show, then
You win that prop.
Yeah, seriously.
I was trying to make some OJ Mayo joke or something if I had a second there, but my brain didn't put that together real quick. Anyways,
OJ Mayo. He went to USC, didn't he? Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
So this is the football feast. You know, we're not going to just be eating spoonfuls of mayo. We're going to talk. we're going to talk about football here. Can't sit through two intros. What up, guys? Oh, you know, I was just trying to spice up the life here. And you know, behind the scenes, Andrew was just pressing some buttons on his screen. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, let's just. And I just pressed live, put the pressure on him.
Didn't even realize it.
We don't use the countdown. The countdown is provided to us by StreamYard. StreamYard is a provider of our streaming services, and sometimes I talk crap about them because my internet sucks. But all that to say, this is the football feast, and we have a couple things we'll talk about in a second here. But first, let's go to the appetizer section. Right? This is the. This is the hot app today because I am dead.
Not literally, poor Ace.
But no, we'll get into a recap first. So, thankfully, the Buffalo Bills played this game without me watching a single second of it. Because I was not happy with what I saw, but hey, you know, that's fine. We all picked the Bills. You guys also didn't catch this entire game, but not to fret. You missed the bad ones and you watched the good ones. You have any quick takeaways from what you saw from one of these teams?
Can I talk about NFL Sunday Ticket real fast? Kind of, you know, they kind of.
That's your takeaway, man. Take it away.
They kind of ruined my Sunday. One working, one collaborating, one helping me out. We're trying to get my account sorted out. Couldn't watch all the games. Missed this one. Looked like a little bit of a mismatch. I was unexpectedly, not expected to see. I did expect the Bills to win by a comfortable margin. I think there's some things that they can take away and build on from, though. I don't think that they're by any means this is going to be the lowest point, what drives the rest of their season. I think they're going to be still a team in playoff contention, and Josh Allen's obviously crazy talented, and Stephon Diggs will see better days, I'm for sure. I think the Steelers' defensive line just happened to give the Buffalo Bills offensive line. Granted, it is returning offensive line, just some fits, and I think it's some things they can button up, and I think they'll be okay. They get Miami in a divisional matchup next week, so it's going to probably be a get-right game for them. They'll be amped up not only for the divisional matchup, but also to just get that sour taste out of the mouth because they know they can perform better, especially Josh Allen, and he expects better from himself, and I expect to see better. So a little bump in the road, not exactly how you wanted to start it, but you get that extra game, so maybe this is just your one mulligan for the year.
So let me set up Jay here. I watched some NFL Live today, buddy, and everybody's talking about how Ben Roethlisberger looks better, and he did a great job. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're wrong. That was definitely not what happened in this game. This was a flip of the coin game that literally had the tides turned by a blocked punt for a touchdown. If the blocked punt for a touchdown is not gotten by the Steelers, I have full confidence that the Buffalo Bills probably win this football game. The whole first half was an absolute for lack of a better term, shit show by both teams' offensive lines. Both defensive lines were just having an absolute field day. And the sacks may not have shown up there as much as you would have imagined, but TJ Watt still had 2 of them, and they were getting after Josh Allen. And the Buffalo Bills D-line was doing the exact same thing to Ben Roethlisberger. It's not like this was like an offensive explosion by the Pittsburgh Steelers or anything like that. That is absolutely not what happened. Buffalo Bills came out, and they looked rusty. It looked like it was week 1 for both teams, for pretty much everyone in the NFL when you really look at it. There were only a few teams. I mean, this was a crazy week 1. Unprecedented, a lot of things that did not happen that we anticipated happening, and a lot of things that it was just wild. And this was clearly one of them. The Buffalo Bills are a better football team, and if they play this game 10 times, the Buffalo Bills are probably winning this game 7 to 8, 9 times out of 10. They're a much better football team, and I stand by that. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to get right, no problem. Josh Allen was a little errant. There were some bad throws there. I think that had a lot to do with getting hit early. That happens with any quarterback. You see it with the best of them. You get to the quarterback early, and they tend to struggle with accuracy issues throughout the rest of the game. So, don't think this is a problem with that at all. Don't know what they're talking about in terms of Ben Roethlisberger looking better. He looked fine. He looked like Ben Roethlisberger. So, he was 18 of 32. Literally, he was like at 55% completion. Nothing special. He threw for 188 yards, which is a 6 average. He was sacked twice. Josh Allen was sacked 3 times. Like I said, this game was won in the trenches. And honestly, both teams had their fair share of wins in the trenches. I just genuinely think this came down to the Pittsburgh Steelers making a special teams play, and the Buffalo Bills didn't have an answer for it that late in the game. And that's pretty much what this boiled down to. I'd pick the Bills here 100 times out of 100. I'm picking the Bills in this situation.
Yeah, no, for sure. A couple quick little things. Devin Singletary ran pretty well yesterday, like 6.5 yards on average carry. Busted up like a big run for like 20 yards. So that was nice to see. Josh Allen, I don't know if I would say he was irresponsible with the ball, but he did get strip sacked by TJ Watt there. So obviously not ideal, but Josh always trying to make a play. The Steelers barely blitzed this game, and they did that because they knew the Bills were going to be had 4 wide receiver sets constantly. So there was probably adjustments needed to be made by the Buffalo Bills, and that didn't happen. So goes the story.
Oh, yeah. Ryan, just want to get to Ryan's comment. Josh Allen ruined me this week. I played 20 lineups in my tournaments, Ryan. I had 7 with Josh Allen. So the minute Josh Allen did not perform, it was a pretty big wash. And then, oh, God, I just need, if you guys love me, you got to give me like 3 minutes at the end of this show to just go on a DFS tear, because it was absolutely ridiculous this weekend. The fact that I broke even is a fantastic. I lost $11, okay, just be all fair. Okay, I lost $11. That's pretty much breaking even. I'll take that all day, considering how trash my tournament lineups were and how much scrambling I had to do around because the San Francisco 49ers think they're some kind of geniuses.
Yes.
Gosh.
AJ Sports Show also with the infographic up here. Minus 11 does equal.
Same thing. Minus 11 even. Why are you yakking my yum, bro?
Okay. We'll give you a few minutes. Even though you just took a few. You want to hit the next game? A.
Oh, absolutely. Here we go.
Just love you. Oh,
right.
Mac. Oh,
Somebody got
Big
this
Mac.
game right.
Oh, Big Mac Jones. Oh, the only thing
Go
that I
ahead.
did right this weekend, I have 1 game edge on you guys going into next week.
we
So, yeah, I'll take that all day. So Ace here picked the Dolphins. You guys picked the Patriots. A very close game. The Patriots had a chance there at the end. Kind of unceremoniously didn't make it happen. But Mac Jones had a nice game. I am late to picking up his stats here, but give me 1 second. 29 for 39 for 281. No turnovers. He completed 7 of 10 passes for 78 yards when he was pressured. And to opposite of him was 16 of 27 for 202, but had kind of some I guess more stressed moments in that game that almost could have spelled defeat for the Dolphins. You guys have any quick takeaways?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't really impressed by either team, to be honest with you. I think I was more like I'm feeling a little bit better about what the Patriots were able to do. Bill Belichick and the defense will tend to improve as the season goes along. As it does, he's able to change and make adjustments as as they come. I guess one big lingering issue for the Patriots here is Trent Brown. He was ruled out with a calf injury in the first series of the game. Was replaced by a second stringer, and then that second stringer also suffered like a minor injury and was replaced by Yasir Durant, who was formerly with the Chiefs, who was an offensive lineman like prospect that didn't really see a ton of playing time. I thought it was kind of an ugly game. The Patriots had an opportunity to take the lead late. Damian Harris unfortunately fumbled that ball and squandered that opportunity. And if you fumble, you're not going to really be on Bill Belichick's good side. And we already know what the standard is for Patriots running backs. If you can't perform, you're not going to see the field. And if you throw in some turnovers, you're really not going to see the field. But I don't know who else they're going to throw out there. So we'll see what happens there. But
when I saw that, I was thinking of Andrew. He was asking Damian Harris or Laviska Shenault.
As the first thing Jay said, yeah.
Laviska didn't have a terrible game. I think maybe like 12 or 14 fantasy points, and Damian had a good game. Obviously, minus a few for that fumble, but minus a win for the Patriots too. So,
no, you're absolutely right. And Damian Harris was running the ball. I mean, honestly, like. Not to toot our own horn. We were right on it. I mean, Damian Harris was 4 yards away from the 100-yard bonus in your fantasy league. I mean, if he doesn't fumble there's a good chance he gets in the end zone. For what it's all worth, the Patriots should have won this football game. Squandered a bunch of opportunities in the red zone. They had a run by Damian that put him on the 1 yard line, and then got called back for an Isaiah Wynn holding that was nowhere near the play, just absolutely not needed at all. And, that brought them back, and that definitely didn't help. And then, the Damian Harris fumble, obviously, at the end of the game, cost them the football game here. I think both teams are pretty much what we expected. Like, I didn't have the Patriots blowing this game out or anything, but, in a tight game, a field goal game against a second-year quarterback, I'm going to take Bill Belichick 9 times out of 10. This was the 1 time out of 10 where I was wrong, apparently. I mean, Miami's a great team, but their offensive line is absolutely in shambles. They are an absolute turnstile over there. And when you have Tua back there, who is halfway mobile, but mobility is not really his thing. He wants to snap the ball, read the defense, get the ball out quick, put it in the playmaker's hands. And that's doable even with a bad offensive line. But it's only to so much extent. You got to block. I mean, good Lord, you got to block somebody.
The Dolphins' defense blitzed 46.1% for the game, which is higher than their average last year. So they were trying to go after the young QB.
Oh, dude! I mean, Brian Flores is right out of Bill Belichick's Bill Belichick's former defensive coordinator. Pulled a page right out of Bill Belichick's playbook. Get a rookie quarterback over there, get some pressure on him. I thought Mac Jones was absolutely unbelievable. I thought he played really well. Stood in there, made some really good throws under pressure. There were some things that you need to work on. Obviously, some things you need to clean up. He missed a guy in a wide open window right inside the seam that I saw on 1 third down that would have completed. That would have been a third down completion for a first down. Kept the drive going. He missed that. Those are some you have to have. But Mac Jones looked pretty good. Looked like what you would expect from a Patriots quarterback. That's what they want, right? That's their thing. They're going to hang their hat on the defense in the run game and not let the quarterback lose it for him. So. I think I think this was exactly the game that we expected. I think if these teams played, 100 times, they probably split it pretty evenly. And that's what we saw, with a 1-point game yesterday. So.
All right. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, Brian. Sorry, Ace. Did you see that cat? Did you see the cat, Asa?
Did you see what happened, Ace? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. You want me to share it for?
Oh, crud. Yeah, do we have it? Yeah.
I have it right here. Yeah.
Oh, dude. This was unbelievable. This is the play of the game.
Cat's at the top of the screen if you can't see.
Oh, he's hanging. He's hanging right up top. Oh, yeah. Look at the guy. Oh, no. Oh, spells disaster. He's hanging on by a claw.
His poor claws are just hanging, like one claw, and he's, oh my gosh, poor little guy.
You think they got 9 lives, right?
Yeah, he's about to use 8.5 of them right here. He's like, let me do a one chin press.
Scar, brother.
I mean,
and then the flag saves the day. Love to see it. Dude, those dudes are absolutely sloshed down there. Look at that. They held him up like he's Simba.
Like he's a Pride Rock.
Okay. Homie got scratched in the face, I think, and he's still
had to.
He's still like Simba. Like, dude, bro.
I mean, that's a feral cat at a public stadium. I don't want no
You need
more of
it.
that. I want
You
to
need-
catch it. Get out of here. Like, I don't want to touch you. You got rabies or something. No, get away. I'm not holding you up.
Yeah, he needs to go get that checked. Okay, Andrew, pull up our next game here.
Okie dokie. Right on command. Here we go.
So the Chiefs beat the Browns 33-29. It was a little touch and go there for a little bit. But what I took away from the game was Patrick Mahomes still hasn't lost in September. Mother trucker. Getting him out of some tight spots. But I think, and you probably both would agree, that Chris Jones made a huge impact. He sacked Baker in the second quarter, and that got them out of field goal range, right? And then late in the game too, I think he on a 3 and 10 or something sacked Baker again. So a couple big plays by Chris Jones there. But yeah, I mean the Browns had a chance to win it there. OBJ still not playing, but Baker didn't do terrible. He was 8 for 8 on play action passes for 151 yards. He completed 12 of 19 of his passes for 214 yards, albeit with an interception, with 2.5 seconds of throwing time, so pretty quick. And against the blitz, he was also great, 5 for 6 for 88 yards. So I mean, pretty good stats for Baker, which is what you want to see if you're a Browns fan, but there's no moral victories here. They got whipped by the Chiefs. Well, okay, I mean, the Chiefs beat them fair and square 2 games in a row, so they're probably a little pissed.
I mean, yeah, the Browns kind of came out and, you know, you couldn't have asked for a better first half game script if you're a Browns if you're a Browns fan. They came out 8 minutes off the clock, Nick Chubb touchdown. Chiefs got the ball and they stumbled for a field goal. Browns got the ball back, 7-minute drive, touchdown. And then from there they got another touchdown. The Chiefs answered back with a touchdown of their own after the second touchdown for the Browns. I mean, the game really went as the Browns could have hoped. Nick Chubb 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt even had a touchdown. Baker played pretty well for what it was worth. I mean, this is going to be a tall order for the Chiefs defense coming into this game, even if they had their guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Willie Gay, and Frank Clark. They were without 3 defensive starters, so someone had to pick up the slack somewhere, and you could tell communication was off a little bit. The Browns, it was really, stop Tyreek Hill, stop Travis Kelce. And at the end of the day, like we've seen time and time again over the years since Patrick Mahomes got here, and even before that, you just can't. Sometimes the NFL, you just can't stop those 2 guys. They were forces. Travis Kelce scored the go-ahead touchdown, and Tyreek Hill the 75-yard one-play drive. I mean, that you've seen time and time again. You just get this feeling, and I was telling Jay whenever and it's a feeling you can't really like put it like put your finger on. Really, you just never feel like you're out of it. 22-10 halftime deficit, especially as a Chiefs fan, it was just kind of like, we'll be all right. You think at least, and that's kind of the precedent that they've set. A lot of things to button up, though. I do like Chris Jones and his impact and what he was able to do. He mixed around on the defensive line a little bit, showing a lot of success on from the defensive end and defensive tackle position. Offensive line was for the Chiefs. It's going to get better, I think. In the run game, they were a little bit, that you wanted to see. A little more you wanted to see from, but I think going against this defensive line matchup was kind of another tall order for the first game of the season. So good things for both teams on this side, and just Patrick Mahomes, he's able to get it in September. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. He's just able to win somehow.
Well, if he goes undefeated in his career in September, which is unlikely to happen, but hopefully I'm rooting for it. He'll be Mr. September.
Yeah,
that'll be his nickname.
We're hoping he's Mr. February instead of Mr. September, but Mr. September works as well as a name for right now. Yeah, I mean, Andrew pretty much laid it all out for you there. The Cleveland Browns came in, and they could not have had a better game plan. They didn't have OBJ, which is interesting considering he's been off for about a year, almost a full calendar year now. Well, a little bit less than that, 10 months. All indications were he was going to play. That didn't happen, obviously, because he was all over my tournament lineups. The Browns needed that score at the end of the half. When they didn't get it, it felt like a Chiefs comeback. Yeah, so I don't know, because they scored a touchdown. They had a really good drive there in the fourth quarter, the end of the third, going into the fourth. Scored a touchdown. It was like 9 plays, 70-something yards, 5 minutes off the clock. They only left the Chiefs with 10 minutes, and then obviously lightning strikes in a bottle. You hit Tyreek Hill for a 75-yard touchdown, and that shuts all that up. It's just kind of funny because literally right before the break and coming in, they were all like, "Oh wow, with Browns ball control doing a great job," and ball control is great and everything. There's very little you can do when a guy can throw a 75-yard touchdown. Like there's pretty much nothing you can do. Like Tyreek Hill was the fastest player alive. As soon as he got even, he was leaving. So Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable. The Cleveland Browns, if you ask them to start this game 100 times out of 100, they're going to take the start that they had 100 times out of 100. Their defensive line is very good. I mean, this is a team, and this is the big question, right? When you're talking about Cleveland, and this is going to be big for them this year, especially. This is a big year for Baker Mayfield. The contract year is coming up. They got to decide if they're going to pay this guy. This is a Super Bowl roster all across the board. They have 2 or 3 of everything. They have 2 or 3 pass rushers. They have 2 or 3 linebackers. They have 2 or 3 pieces in the secondary. First round pick, Greg Newsome. They have 2 or 3 pass catchers that are unbelievable. I mean, they have 2 tight ends. David Njoku and Austin Hooper are both starting tight ends in the NFL. They got 2 of them. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, starting running backs. They got 2 of them. There is no excuses for the Cleveland Browns. This was a game that they should have won. You lose this game when one team has Patrick Mahomes and the other team doesn't. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. And I mean, again, as a Chiefs fan, it's going to sound like I'm coming off as a homer. There's no more I can say. There's no more that can be done. I mean, the only thing is he going to be able to keep doing this, right? I mean, he's only this is his 4th year now. Is this going to be able to be something that he's going to continue to keep doing? I really don't know. The run inside the 10-yard line for a touchdown was something absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the patience that he has in order to set up his blockers. Trey Smith comes from inside out and just annihilates the linebacker to open up the hole for Patty. And Patrick it's like he knows it, dude. It's like he knows I just got to buy some time, get outside, squeezes in there, didn't take a big hit, which is something I love. Took a big one in the first quarter. It had me a little worried. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs, it was a tall order for them, especially stopping the run. One thing I will mention about the Chiefs, I mentioned it after the Dallas Cowboy and Tampa Bay game. It looked like the Dallas Cowboys did a really good job of laying out the blueprint for how to be successful against the Tampa Bay defense, and that's by spreading them out and hitting the perimeters and allowing that secondary to make the plays and not the front 7. The Browns have done it again, where this is how you're going to have to beat the Chiefs. It's a tall order, again, because of Patrick. What I will say is that Kansas City is going to get some reinforcements back. The Chiefs are either going to have a big haul, like a big overhaul defensively this offseason, and I feel like we talk about that every offseason, but or sign Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu and what he does for this football team defensively cannot be understated. Juwan Thornhill played a solid game at the end when you look at it entirely with that forced fumble, and he had a few big plays in the 4th quarter. He was being absolutely annihilated and picked on the entire first half. Like absolutely a play action pass, had no recognition of what was going on. He looked more lost than Micah Parsons did, and everyone wanted to crap on Micah Parsons week 1 playing against Tom Brady. Don't get me wrong, Kevin Stefanski's a great play caller. At the end of the day, this is Baker Mayfield absolutely shredding Juwan Thornhill. He needs to be better. And again, I just think it's a big deal. I think Tyrann Mathieu is a big deal for this Kansas City Chiefs defense, and it gets understated how big of a deal he is sometimes.
Heard that. Yeah, I mean, I had when I was making my predictions later this year, I have the Chiefs facing off against the Browns in the playoffs. So I think that'll be another great game. But I do think the Browns have a little bit more. We'll have to see how the Ravens play in like 35 minutes or so. But I don't know. I'm a little worried for the Ravens now, having all these injuries. So we'll see. We'll see how they come out of the gate. Obviously, it's still week 1. But let's hit up our last game here, which was the Rams hosting the Bears at SoFi Stadium. We all got this one right. Matt Stafford also seemed like the right QB. He threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp went off over 100 yards. This was the highest passer rating per Elias Sports Bureau that any QB in NFL history has had with his new team. The only thing that maybe the Rams need to worry about is maybe their rush game, but if you have Matt Stafford moving the ball down the field the way that they were able to do, he hit Cooper Kupp with like a 50-yard touchdown pass too. I mean, the rush game will complement the pass game instead of the rush game being more or less like what catapulted them to some late season success last year, especially since like it was like the next man up, and then the next man up for the Rams was running like a well-oiled machine. But they did, earlier this offseason they had some running back room injuries, and so that's like I think the only thing that we're seeing right now. But yeah, what did you guys have any takeaways from this game?
Yeah, if anybody was betting that Van Jefferson was going to be the recipient of Matthew Stafford's first career touchdown in a Rams uniform, I can guarantee you there wasn't very many people who didn't. But LA got exactly what they wanted. I think he's the first quarterback in NFL history to make a switch to a team in an offseason and throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks in a home debut. So that was impressive in its own right. If you saw Sean McVay in the post-game presser, how giddy he was, and I mean, he literally just couldn't take that smile off his face at like answering questions about Matthew Stafford, and the relationship that he had with Jared Goff was pretty public, and he was a big fan of Jared Goff. But there's just limitations that you had, and obviously Dan Campbell's going to learn that in Detroit what Jared Goff can do, and now LA Rams are going to learn what Matthew Stafford can do, and that's we saw a lot of him rolling out of the pocket and being able to be mobile and hit receivers outside the numbers. And I think that's going to go a long way in the Rams establishing the kind of run game that they want to have. Darrell Henderson finished with about 70 yards. Most of them came in kind of crunch time, in garbage time a little bit. But once they can open up the run game and then continue to have Matt Stafford get out of the pocket, and Matt Stafford's an unbelievable talent. That can't be understated. And the question is, can he do it with a winning organization? Because obviously the Detroit Lions haven't been. And I think this was a good stepping stone, towards building on that. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods are just professional wide receivers. That's what I'm going to call them. They're not elite. They're not bad. They are just professional wide receivers. They make they make tough catches. They're both good for yak. And I think this team is pretty prime. And I think Jay's going to talk about this guy a little bit more. But number 5 on the other side of the ball, also number 99, Aaron Donald's amazing. But what we saw from number 5 yesterday, Jalen Ramsey, I mean, this guy he looks like a receiver out there playing corner who's also bigger than safeties. It's just crazy what Jalen Ramsey did. Only takeaway for the Bears, play Justin Fields. You played Andy Dalton week 1 against his terrible defensive matchup. Play Justin Fields now. Yeah, Andy Dalton's got no business being on that field.
He scored the first touchdown from a QB this season for the Bears, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he was out there, he was only out there for a handful of snaps, but he was 2 for 2 for like 10 yards or whatever, and then the rushing touchdown. Personally, the Bears are not going to be that great anyway. You might as well just wait till your bye week, give him a full week prep, and then let him come in and be the starter. Look, man, the Bears, I don't know what is in the water. The jug that they give the offensive linemen, get another jug, okay? They're on like their 4th string left tackle right now. I swear to God, they draft Tevin Jenkins, back problem. No one heard about it. I mean, coming out of the draft, I heard nothing about the back issue. Shows up to camp in Chicago, back issue, needs surgery. He's probably out the whole season. Second, then they signed the corpse of Jason Peters, who's 45 now. They're 45 out there with a cane. He gets hurt in like the second quarter. Then they bring in their 3rd string guy. He gets hurt. They're on like their 4th string left tackle. It's unbelievable. Their offensive line is absolutely ridiculously bad. It's not even. It's not funny. What they did to Allen Robinson yesterday, okay? Allen Robinson didn't run a route that was more than 12 yards down the field. I wish I was joking. Go look at the PFF route tree. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's your most explosive offensive player. Go let him get the goddamn ball, or at least let him go down the field, take some pressure off the underneath stuff. I mean, literally, it's not a secret. Your best player on offense is Allen Robinson, and you keep him at or near the line of scrimmage. So there's nothing at all as a defense that scares me down the field. And guess what? I don't know if maybe Chicago don't know this. Andy Dalton's arm don't scare me down the field, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to play underneath coverage. Jalen Ramsey was able to sit on and freaking go after everything. Jalen Ramsey is, dude, I mean, he's the best cornerback in football. He really is. He's the best cornerback in football. He plays press. He plays man. He'll play zone. He's so big in the run game. It's like he's not even a corner. He might as well be like a safety hybrid. It's Jalen Ramsey is really like ridiculous, man. Like really, I mean, he popped off the screen yesterday, and every fan's gonna tell you that because of the big plays he made. But what you don't see is the fact that literally you take a whole side of the field away because that dude is guarding whoever the heck they put him on. He's unbelievable. the Rams, I mean, they look pretty damn good, and they should look good. Yeah, I had a whole offseason to prepare for this. I honestly wasn't very surprised that, you know, the first touchdown was a long touchdown pass. Sean McVay is, in case you haven't noticed, like he likes the theatrics, okay? Right? He's kind of a showman, okay? I guarantee you he's had that mother lover drawn up for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and they knew they were going to hit that play big. They literally split the 2 high safeties, and Matt Stafford locked, loaded, and threw about 65 yards down the field. It was literally a showcase play. It's literally like when you buy the Ferrari off the lot and down the street, you let that bitch go. You know what I'm saying? You let him go, okay? Yep. And Darrell Henderson did a good job filling in. Cam Akers obviously isn't going to be available this season. You know, they traded for Sony Michel, and people thought that he'd be a factor. He had 1 carry. I think it's Darrell Henderson's backfield. Bigger guy. And, you know, even with Matthew Stafford, this doesn't change, right? The Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay specifically, and the coaching tree that is being spewed out of Sean McVay, and we saw it yesterday in the Seattle Seahawks game, is going to be establish the run, play action pass, get your athletic quarterbacks out, let them make plays, and let them get the ball out quickly so that way they don't have – it's literally going to either be quick pass game, you know, they're going to take their shots mostly on play action, and they ran it to perfection yesterday against a team that they should have annihilated, and they did so. So, I mean, the score, I think, ended up being, 34-14. It wasn't even that close. It really wasn't even that close.
I agree. Okay. Sometimes I am all consumed by everything you say because you
It gets really fiery. Gets really into it. Yeah, you're captivated by it almost. Yeah, 100%.
You talked about water there, and some would say you need to water my grave. If you want to go to the next slide.
Yeah.
It's kind of my fault. It's kind of my fault. Full transparency. If you watch the show, you know I was bullish on the Minnesota Vikings. I was picking the Minnesota Vikings, but Asa got to pick it earlier. Thank goodness he did. Yeah. We'll talk about the Vikings game later. Or are we talking about it now?
Oh, we can just talk. We'll just quickly talk about it right now. I don't got any huge news stories.
I kind of do. If you don't mind, because they were absolutely pathetic. Yes. Okay, absolutely pathetic. Dalvin Cook should have ran all over these guys. I mean, you know, he ended up. Yeah, should have 100%. The offensive line was absolutely terrible. They had 16 penalties yesterday. Okay, the Minnesota Vikings. 12 of them came on offense. I mean, they had 7 times where they were 3rd and 10 or longer, okay? And then, right after the post game, Mike Zimmer, instead of taking some accountability and saying, yeah, our offensive line played like absolute dog water today, he goes, oh, well, you know, you're gonna have those types of days when you throw the ball 50 times. Mike Zimmer, okay? Why are you going 7-step drop under center empty? Can you somehow explain how that makes any gosh darn sense to me? And then you want to talk about the awful pass protection because of the volume of passes? You're calling under center 7-step drop with an immobile quarterback, a bad offensive line, in empty. Figure it out. And then Joe Burrow, everyone, Jamar Chase struggled in the preseason. Okay, had a good game. Had a good game. I'm getting rammed up my face about how well Jamar Chase played. Jamar Chase ran a go route, and there wasn't a freaking corner within 7 yards of the guy. I swear on all that's holy, I could have caught that football.
Yeah,
I could have caught the football. Everyone's talking about it. They're simultaneously showing the throw that he made when he was at LSU, and it looks exactly the same. The corner that they were playing at LSU did a better job of covering Jamar Chase than the gosh darn Minnesota Vikings did yesterday. That dude was wide open. That's more wide open you're ever going to see in the NFL. They got dudes in zone coverage, man coverage, guys on the quarterback. That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, so this game went to overtime. The Vikings barely won. Tied it to even go to overtime. They had to nail 2 53-yard kicks in a row to get there.
And Asa, sorry, yeah, so annoying. They got absolutely fleeced on that Dalvin Cook fumble. The dude was absolutely down. We got every camera angle in the freaking world nowadays, and we can't tell he's down. His ass is on the grass. What are we talking about right now? And they still, because it can't be definitive, I don't know what more definitive you need. His purple ass cheek on the ground.
Purple ass on green grass.
Yeah.
And then I'll give it to Joe Burrow. He made Andrew and Joseph, we were watching this together. Shout out Joe. We were watching this together in overtime, and I saw Joe Burrow on that last play, on that third and short play. Great job checking into the play action pass to CJ Uzoma for that nice 30-yard gain. That was a good play. I mean, they were coming all out blitz right there. The Minnesota Vikings were left man-to-man coverage on the backside. So that was a great job by Joe Burrow. I will point that out because I haven't been the biggest Cincinnati Bengals supporter, and I still won't be. They'll win about 5 games.
Yeah, so the Bengals stacked the box. Kirk Cousins, captain check down, averaged seven yards a throw. So pretty. He can be explosive. That's kind of like usually his bread and butter. It's run with pan it off to your star running back, check down here and there, and then hit a splash bomb once or twice a game. So that didn't happen. But yeah, the Bengals ran a lot. Joe Mixon ran really well. He had a terrible season last year because of his injuries and whatnot. And the Bengals are dead last in rushing the ball. So if one thing can save them from Joey Burrow getting injured again, it's handing off the ball a little bit more. So, I mean, in all accounts, I do see both teams playing a little bit better. The Vikings have a lot of have decent playmakers on defense, and Kirk Cousins just needs to not lose in them games and feed Dalvin Cook a little bit more. But anyways, it's okay. I will be resurrected in some way, shape, or form. So
hey, at least you can rest on your laurels and just be happy that they lost week 1 instead of they're going to face the Cardinals in week 2. And Chandler Jones just had 5 sacks against Tennessee's offensive line, which is on paper better than the Vikings' offensive line. So that might be a shellacking next week against the Cardinals if Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt show up like they did.
Take a Cardinals defense if it's not too expensive somewhere in DFS, or pick them up off the waiver wire.
Well, I mean, I made quite the hubbub about them being the Cincinnati Bengals not drafting Penei Sewell. Okay, just a few things real quick. Did we see how good Penei Sewell looked yesterday at the left tackle position? Huh? Did we see that?
I caught a breeze of it.
You're darn right, baby. You look real good at the left tackle position against that tough San Francisco 49er defensive line. And for what it's worth, Joe Burrow got sacked 5 times yesterday. 5 times. I don't think that's what you want to see in Cincinnati.
Gotta shore that up a little bit.
Against the mediocre, well, I mean, I thought they were better, but mediocre Minnesota defensive line, 5 sacks. Good luck to Chandler Jones, like Andrew said, had 5 on his own. So good luck next week.
So I'll give you guys both a chance real quick to talk about your team. So real quick, Jay, you picked the Panthers. Darnold Arrow started off with the dub. He played pretty well, 24 for 35, 279, no turnovers. Hit Robbie Anderson for like a deep pass. And yeah, I mean, but pretty much carried with Christian McCaffrey there. McCaffrey almost had 100 yards on the ground and had almost 100 yards in the air too. So did you what you saw out of the Panthers so far? Or was it just matchup based? They did well.
Bro, I mean, I was honestly kind of tweaking here because there's no shot this should have been remotely as close as it was. I think it finished like 19-14 or something like that. Zach Wilson looked really good in the second half. Looked awful in the first, but looked really good in the second half. 17-24 with 2 touchdowns in that second half, like almost 200 yards. So he looked real good. That gave me a little bit of a scare. For any of my DFS peeps, if you were questioning whether Christian McCaffrey is hashtag that dude, he is hashtag that dude. He didn't even get to the end zone yesterday and had 33 DraftKings points. So already saw the price for next week, $9,900. Fire him up in cash, baby. Don't even ask about it.
Can I? I don't know if Ryan's still here. Are you? He just commented. Yeah, Ryan's still here. Ryan, remember when I told you to take Christian McCaffrey with your number 1 overall pick, and Derrick Henry got 43 yards? So, I love
no shot. Did Ryan take Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, I don't know, but I told him to, and you said no. Take Derrick Henry.
No shot, not in PPR. Wait, wasn't it like the third? Was it the first?
I don't
pick?
know. It wasn't PPR.
You did say take Derrick Henry, but it's because Ryan's in a non-PPR league.
Non-PPR. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So Ryan, who did you take?
So week one goes to Ace here because he did say Christian McCaffrey regardless of PPR or not.
I really said to not take. I would have still taken Christian McCaffrey. Wow, really?
You were on it. You were on your high horse. You were on your laurels. Okay, so Andrew, give you a
Speaking
second.
of horses, right?
Yes. Wow. We're all about
The Broncos?
transitions. We're all about transitions here on the AJ Sports Show. Okay, so I'll let you talk about the Broncos here for a sec. The Broncos took care of business against the New York Giants, a game in which, if you listen to us on Sunday morning, we end Thursday or Friday evening. Jay said that the Broncos were going to win in the trenches. Von Miller, the current NFL active sack leader, notched a couple more. Daniel Jones didn't play great in this one. Saquon needs to get. Seems like he needs to, get his wheels spinning a little bit more. But the Broncos won this game, and it wasn't like super splashy. But Bridgewater did what he needed to do. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
So the most important takeaway is literally what you just said, and we're not going to, not going to be the last time we hear this. Daniel Jones did not play well. It's not going to be the last time we hear it for his career. I don't know how long he's going to be in New York, but if they go another season with Daniel Jones and he doesn't show any improvement this year, then they're going to get what they deserve. The defense wasn't up to par. They got little to no pass rush. Leonard Williams was really not much of a non-factor on the defensive line. Can't really do it all on his own, especially against honestly, the Denver Broncos have been building this offensive line for a long time, and Garrett Bowles has staked his flag as one of the top 5 tackles in the game. Teddy Bridgewater played pretty well, given circumstances. 26 of 38, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy did suffer an injury, so we'll see what happens there. But they do have a pretty deep wide receiver room with Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, and surprisingly Tim Patrick, who always seems to be making plays for the Broncos for some reason. Melvin Gordon.
The man with 2 names.
Yeah, right. I love it. Jamal Charles,
names,
Tim Patrick. I love the guys with 2 first names. They usually are factors in the NFL. Melvin Gordon, his stat line is a little skewed by a 75-yard touchdown run. He was over 100 yards for the day, but I think it really comes down to the play of Bridgewater, and even without Bradley Chubb, their other premier pass rusher, the Broncos were still able to give it to this Giants team. Saquon Barkley and Kenny Golladay, I think, just need a little time to get up to speed. Granted, Daniel Jones has to be able to produce and get Golladay the ball, and Saquon, I think, coming off the injury, will just need to, just like you said, get the wheels spin a little bit. But it's really just going to rest on Daniel Jones and what he can do. The offensive line is atrocious, as Jade completely mentioned on Sunday, and atrocious is being nice about it because Andrew Thomas, the standout tackle from Georgia, can't stop a nosebleed. So it's really going to come down to the defense making. If the Giants are going to be successful, it's really going to come down to the defense doing enough, for the offense to, I guess, be put in good positions to succeed. Otherwise, they're not going to be good. But I like what I saw from Denver. They'll get Bradley Chubb back, and we'll see how that goes. But the Teddy Bridgewater experiment seems to be off to a good start, and I'm sure Vic Fangio and Elway will be much happier than what Drew Lock has produced. This is their this is the 5th starting quarterback they've had in 5 straight seasons. And none of the 5 previous that came before, that would be Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler, Case Keenum, and Drew Lock, haven't played anywhere close to this level in any of the games they've seen over the last 5 seasons. So good start for them. Let's see if they can continue.
Ryan, confirming his pick here.
Yeah. So I would actually, for what it's worth, I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, number 1 pick, especially non-PPR. It is really a flip of the coin. Derrick Henry had 7.7 points yesterday because it's just yardage. What I'm saying is, in terms of PPR, yesterday, Christian McCaffrey, if you're in a PPR league, Ryan, gets you 35 points, almost 35 points, right? And because you're in a non-PPR league, Christian McCaffrey yesterday got you 18.7 because he didn't find the end zone. I would argue that that Derrick Henry is going to rush for 100 yards in more games than Christian McCaffrey. You get a bonus for that, and he's going to have more rushing touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey, which is obviously what you want to see. Derrick Henry is going to get, and I mentioned it when we talked about it, he's going to get played out of some game scripts. They were down at one point, like 17 to 20 points. Like, at that point, Derrick Henry is not going to be on the field. If you anticipate Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans to be losing by 17 to 20 points a lot, then by all means, yeah, he's an awful play. But I'm right there with you. He's going to rush for 2,000 yards. as the season goes along, he's going to get better. Taylor Lewan even tweeted out after the game, was like, thank you, Chandler Jones, for exposing me because this was the worst game of my career and I need to be better. And it's 100% the case. The offensive line got absolutely eaten alive. So hold steady with Derrick Henry, Ryan. I think you're in a good spot.
If you have room on your bench, pick up his backup, Jeremy McNichols. If you got to protect your number one pick.
Always, yeah. If you're in a season long, you always should have a handicap. That's a great call, Asa. If you have like Zeke, get Tony Pollard. Like it just makes all the sense in the world to cover yourself in case one of these guys gets injured. It's freebie.
So as you can see, I changed up the little background there, and we are entering the main course. So we'll talk about some football, some of the action from week one. We've already been talking about it, so we're just continuing on that course there. If I was in a PPR league, no question, yeah, and most teams are in PPR league. So what's up
Smart.
with the half?
Smart.
What's up with the half PPR league, anyways? I don't know if I get that.
FanDuel does that too.
Get out of here. So Chandler Jones, I can't speak, had himself a day. If the season were to end right now, he was the juice that like carried that Cardinals defense to victory there. JJ Watt had a sack early in the game, or tackle for loss. I don't remember what it was against Derrick Henry. But yeah, Chandler Jones went off, had himself a nice game. Kyler Murray played really well for this team. But I still think that the Cardinals are in a little bit of hot water being in this like really tight division. And I got to see this happen multiple weeks before I start to see that they can actually put it together. But Kyler so far looks like he's that man, and Chandler Jones seems like he was that man on defense. But yeah, you guys have any thoughts on this game?
I'll be quick here. Defensively, they were basically unstoppable to the point where Taylor Lewan had to publicly come out and address his performance on Twitter and say that he'll be better next week. A guy who has made all pro teams and been a Pro Bowler, who just basically got his ass handed to him, for lack of better terms. That whole Titans offensive line did. Only mustering up 13 points against a defense like the Cardinals isn't what you wanted out the gates. Obviously, they are without Arthur Smith, who was their offensive coordinator prior to this season, who is now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, so that may have something to do with it. I think this team really just goes as Derrick Henry does, even with the addition of Julio Jones to complement A.J. Brown, who caught a touchdown. But it's really just going to be predicated on if that offensive line can play well. Ryan Tannehill is kind of like Baker Mayfield. If the run game's working, so is the play action. If the play action's working, so are the deep threats. But they're not. They all have to work within each other in order for the team to be successful. And if they don't, you're going to get games like that very often, especially against guys like Kyler Murray when he's not being pressured and he can just let it rip.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. I just piggyback off of Andrew. We talked about it a little bit, but that's 100% the case. The disconnect between Ryan Tannehill and Julio Jones was very noticeable. He threw an interception thrown to him. There were a few times where he was throwing to Julio, and Julio either didn't get his head around or there was some type of miscommunication on the timing of the route, and you could tell right off the gate it was going to be an ugly day for the Tennessee Titans. They weren't able to run the ball very effectively due to that offensive line being absolutely cheeky on Sunday. I think they'll put it together. I have the Tennessee Titans winning about 8 or 9 games. I have them losing the division. I have the Indianapolis Colts winning it. And this is kind of the reason why. I think the Indianapolis Colts, I think the Tennessee Titans are good. I don't think they're great. And when you lose some key guys, it becomes a factor. Obviously Corey Davis is a loss for them. And, they thought they can replace him with adding Julio Jones. And Julio Jones is probably all in out a better wide receiver, but it's going to take some time for them to mesh. It just looked like the Cardinals caught them off guard. Don't know how that happens in week 1, but I don't want to take anything away from Kyler Murray. I don't know how long this can continue to go on because we saw it last year after he suffered the hip injury. He got hurt and kind of had to, wasn't himself. The first 10 weeks of the season last year, Kyler Murray was the best fantasy quarterback in NFL history. Not like the best NFL quarterback last year or in the last decade, in NFL history through 10 years. Got the hip injury, was never the same. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to have a chance to keep doing that. I don't know if that's always going to lead to wins. In my opinion, I don't think it will. I have them winning about 6 or 7 games. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. They came out with a buzzsaw and took it to the Titans.
Heard. Yeah, I don't know. It's week 1. So we'll take that with what we can.
We'll leave the overreaction Mondays for ESPN. We're just we're staying level-headed here.
We're gonna tell you the truth.
W's. Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna tell you the truth.
Did you guys see this beautiful spread on the table? There was a W on there somewhere. There was a couple L's too. My rotting corpse as well. So Jameis Winston, 5 touchdowns. The least amount of yardage associated with 5 touchdowns by any QB performance in history. Go figure. Again, this game was won in the trenches. This game was won in the trenches, right? Aaron Rodgers was just destroyed for most of this game, and the Saints' offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, and they did what they needed to do. I mean, it's pretty simple. One team outplayed the other by a long shot. Aaron Rodgers and I made the hot take that I don't think this Green Bay Packers win this division this year. So we'll see how that holds up. But Aaron Rodgers had a 36.8 passer rating in this game, and he scored 3 points. And Jordan Love came into the game because they waved the white flag. So, and players like Deontay Harris and Callaway and guys that Jawan Johnson you've never heard of in New Orleans are outplaying the wide receivers in Green Bay, who we always hear Aaron Rodgers don't got no wide receivers. Well, you got Devontae Adams, you got Robert Tonyan, who you threw 10 touchdowns to last year. So you have Aaron Jones. I mean, you have playmakers. You just didn't do anything with them. So, what do you guys think, real quick?
Yeah. Hey, if any Packers fans are here, if you guys ever wanted to meet a celebrity on your team, Kevin King, I know he's a great defensive player. He got burnt a bunch of times yesterday. All you got to do, it's really easy for you. Just go ahead and stick a piece of white bread in your toaster and leave it for an hour because he's just burnt toast. He's terrible. And that's kind of basically what you're going to get when you have Kevin King on your defense. They were just terrible. They literally were. There was no continuity in the game. Aaron Rodgers looked terrible. He just looked uncomfortable the whole game. They couldn't really get anything going. Devontae Adams wasn't his normal self. Marshawn Lattimore even had to leave the game periodically for a short amount of time, and they even couldn't do anything with him off the field. I think this is the worst loss of Rodgers' career. This is the biggest margin he's ever been defeated by. What's a bigger L? Jameis Winston getting the post-game accolades, or you getting blown up by 35? I really can't decide. I'll leave it up for Aaron Rodgers to decide and rectify in week 2. But this was just the worst game they could possibly play, and they'll have that opportunity to bounce back next week against a terrible team. I'm pretty sure they play the Lions, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just all in all, just awful performance. The Saints didn't do anything that really stood out to me that was super special. Like you mentioned, Jameis wasn't moving the ball a ton to garner those 5 touchdowns. They were put in good positions all game long because of poor offensive play by the Green Bay Packers. So I expect both these teams to probably I expect Green Bay to play better, and I expect the Saints to probably play about where they're at. And I don't really know how far Jameis can get them, but I don't expect 5 touchdowns. If you had Jameis Winston 5 touchdowns for the Saints in your 2021 bingo card, you're wrong. So,
Andrew, can you hit that? Can you start humming the Jeopardy tune for me real quick here?
Do I know it?
Yeah, that one. Jay, this quarterback had 5 interceptions last year and had 2 yesterday. What is the answer?
5 interceptions last year, 2 yesterday. Aaron Rodgers.
It was who is Aaron Rodgers? Man, you
answered the question wrong, Johnny. Who is Aaron Rodgers?
Damn it! Did you guys? By the way, did you see Jameis Winston's post presser? I sent it to Andrew. Didn't I send it to you too, Ace?
No. Yeah. No.
Oh boy. I got it. Hold on. Just everyone stop the presses. I'm here. Don't worry. I got you.
Make sure you turn that audio on while we say hello to Amanda.
Audio is on. Okay, here we go. This is this dude's hilarious. This is just funny. Is the audio not on?
Click.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I gotta click the unmute button, huh? Wow, that'd probably help. Okay, here we go.
My trainer, he told me. He said, "What did he say?" He just told us to be prepared.
How did the defense in the running game give overall?
He totally forgot where he was going. He was lying.
Thank you, Jeopardy.
He was gonna lie to his team. lost it, dude. Oh
Wow.
my god, I died, bro. I died. I absolutely died. It was
We
hilarious.
We had the funniest 2 minutes in our broadcast just happened in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, holy Toledo, dude.
Mine was god awful. I forgot. I didn't realize I had to go into work early, so I missed football all day. And then every text I got was bad news. So it was just not great. But you know, it is what it is.
We are so sorry, buddy. We still love you though. You got this.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, and you tweeted it out. You retweeted it. You know, the Tampa Bay Bucks started last year 0-1 and won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, it is what it is. One loss ain't everything. Especially to Pittsburgh. Like I know. You know, the consensus pick was that the Bills were gonna win. Pittsburgh was 10-0 last year. In case anyone did not remember that, they won 10 straight games. They were 10-0. They were the talk of the town. 11. They won 11.
Yes, this is true.
That's why you work at a sports restaurant. So you watch.
Big brain energy.
Good stuff. Amanda always coming in with the good stuff.
That's like next level.
She even beat me to the like the smart comment. I said big brain energy. She said A1 thinking.
She's got the big brain. Okay, so let's hit up our dessert course here and preview our Thursday night football game. The Giants at the Redskins. The Giants opened up as 4.5-point underdogs to the. Oh my God, I got to take that off the screen because I am being super unpolitically correct here. Wow. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I haven't called them the Redskins. Oh, whatever. Okay, moving on. The Giants at Washington. Sorry, they don't have a mascot, so we make these mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, they're the football team.
And also, our background here is baklava. If you guys didn't notice, baklava. So I figured, that's as dessert for us as possible. Okay, so we'll pop it up here on the screen. Show you our picks because we're not going to be probably. Well, we might broadcast on Thursday. Who knows? Just oh boy, we might as well. They don't deserve for us to watch them. Don't give who's doing Thursday nights this year? Is it a rotating schedule? Don't give.
Yeah, they rotate between NBC and CBS.
Gotcha. Is Amazon Prime also doing some of these Thursday night games this year too?
No, but it sounds like they're about to get bought out. The Sunday Ticket's about to get bought out by Amazon Prime.
Oh well, I got Amazon Prime, so maybe I can start.
Me too. I'm good with that. Yeah, it wouldn't be till next year. It won't be till next year. Year.
Okay, we'll take a future dub when we can. Jay's computers don't like he is Sunday.
Not sure what happened there, guys.
Sunday tickets watching. They got someone on the inside here. So the only person picking the Washington football team is not on screen. So I think the Giants win just because they were more embarrassed last week than the Washington football team was. I think they have a better roster. It is a little bit more healthier. So I would just the Giants lost in the trenches, so I would hope that they correct some of those things. I chose Saquon as my comeback player of the year, so hopefully he can get some rushing going here and come back and make a difference in this game and take some relief off of Daniel Jones. Danny Nichols isn't gonna cut it for this team if he has to win them 10 or 11 games this year. It's got to be on Saquon's shoulders too. What you similar thoughts to you, Andrew?
Yeah, I think looking at it a little more, it's kind of hard to find like really great reasons why the Giants are going to win the game, but it's also hard to find great reasons why Washington's going to win the game. What's your guys' record for correct predictions so far? We haven't tallied them up. We haven't tallied them up just yet, Amanda.
Well, I mean, we could do it real quick. What are we? 3? Yeah. We lost 2, right?
You guys are 3-1. I'm 4-0. No. You guys are 2-2. I'm 3-1.
There you go. Yeah, because we got the Dolphins and the Bills wrong. Mm-hmm. So Jay and I are 2-2, Ace 3-1. Remain to be seen. The Raiders and Ravens kicked off a little while ago.
We all have the Ravens winning tonight. So we'll see if Junior can catch up the game or if or if he goes another game behind me with this prediction loss here. We still haven't gotten our bounties from our last bets that we made, so we gotta make do on that soon here.
Yeah. We'll record it. We'll record that.
Sorry, Ryan.
It's been busy few months, man. It's been busy few months, but we're doing much as we can when we can. But getting back to a little bit of foosball. Yeah, I think the Giants can win this game. They're very talented offensively, and I think if they can click, they can do some things against this defense. The defense didn't show out as much as I probably would have expected them to in their first home game against the Chargers. But I think Saquon can be effective against this defense, especially if they can get him outside, get him on the outside. That remains to be seen, though. Again, he's still recovering. Taylor Heineke in our quarterback now for Ryan Fitzpatrick, who just landed on IR with a hip subluxation. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Hopefully I pronounced it right, but it's not good, apparently. It says they could be possibly career-ending. Hopefully it's not, because we love Fitzmagic. We like talking about him, and we like seeing big beards in the NFL. So hopefully he's okay. Wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins this one, especially dropping 2 home games to begin the season is not ideal. So it's going to be a tough task for the Giants to go in there and get this dub, but I'm going to lean towards the Giants here because it's a wacky division, so why not get wacky results, right?
True. Absolutely true. I think what you guys are saying is absolutely correct, and that's is 100%. The Giants can absolutely come out and win this ball game. I just think we have to now solidify Rashawn Slater is the Chase Young stopper, right? I mean, he did it when he was at Northwestern and Ohio State, and yesterday he shut down Chase Young and didn't allow him to get pressure on Justin Herbert very much. What I will say is that the New York Giants wish that they had someone who was even remotely close to Rashawn Slater on that offensive line. I think that Daniel Jones probably gets sacked about 3 or 4 times, and at least 1 fumble is not out of the realm of possibility, as we saw yesterday. Daniel Jones may be the most fumbling-prone quarterback the NFL has ever seen. This dude 7-8 fumbles a year, and that's just recovered fumbles. I mean, it's crazy. This guy he got the ball like a loaf of bread out there. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that the Giants have a better, skill position group. I think not having Fitzpatrick and going with Heineke is a downgrade. I'm going to tell myself that at least. As you can tell, I'm saying this without a whole lot of confidence. So, yeah, I think that the Washington defense eats up the New York Giants offense, and I'll give the home team, Washington football team, a home win here.
So Amanda real quick asked, what's the winner get? And I commented mine, Jay, while you were talking there. If I win, then you guys have to come together and bake me a cheesecake. Figure it out. It has to be delicious.
Oh, yeah, it definitely will be. I'm a, kitchen connoisseur of sorts. No, I'm really not.
Hey,
I'll figure it out, though.
I'm gonna be honest. You don't want me cooking y'all nothing, bro.
You could pay for all the ingredients.
Yeah. I go buy it.
I'm just gonna give him the dummy job. Just break up the graham crackers for me, pal, and melt the butter, please. That's it. That's all.
No, seriously. The thing is, if I win, I'm getting it from two big dogs over here, specifically Monsieur Aisha. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be funny because it's the football feast, right? So maybe we'll tie in some food here, and maybe we don't have to wait till the end of the season. Maybe we can have some fun with it. Since I lost the Survivor Pool challenge, we'll see if we want to create any secondary bylaws there. Maybe if we'll talk about it off camera. But that is the end of the meal. If you hung around for the mayo talk from the beginning to the sweet taste of the baklava on the screen there, we appreciate you. This is where we go off of this screen and onto the other, so we can watch some Thursday Night Football. Part of me is like, ooh, I want the Raiders to win just to mess with the world even a little bit more. But who knows if that's really going to happen? Derek Carr's
been enough chaos.
Derek Carr is 4-2 in Monday night games.
There's been too much chaos.
There's a winning record in Monday night games?
Too much chaos week 1.
Derek Carr, yeah.
No way, don't do it to me, please. Please hit the like button if you guys are still here.
Package it up nice. Ace won't know the difference. Oh no, he will. And I won't allow myself, if I have to pay that kind of debt to make a cheesecake, I will not allow store-bought cheesecake. You kidding me? Get out of here.
It's not store-bought, it's Cheesecake Factory. Who makes better cheesecake than a Cheesecake Factory?
Store-bought.
Oh, get out of here, dude. Hey, Ryan, I'm right there with you, dude. When this is all said and done, me and you, Ryan, we'll get ourselves a little date. We'll go on to a little Cheesecake Factory, get ourselves a cheesecake without Bozo down here.
Hey, get the chicken Bellagio, Ryan. Best dish you'll have at the restaurant. Have a great night, Amanda. Thanks for tuning in. Go watch some football.
Sometimes this show just goes into really fun places, but have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Y'all haven't figured it out yet. Baklava is a staple in our Arab households for
Yes, it is, baby.
occasions.
That is the truth.